What's going on, y'all? We back with another episode, School in the Game podcast. It's your boy School. How y'all doing today? Tonight, y'all on the East Coast. It's still, it ain't too early.
Still light out there?
Nah, sun is going down.
Nah, it's still light over there.
Look where Till's at. We don't know where in the world he at tonight.
Yo, relax, yo.
He might be hiding something right now. We might see it live.
Yo, relax, yo. Just had to change your plans because somebody wanted to be late, but whatever.
Out of my control. Kids make
this is out of my
Kids want to be Dog the Bounty Hunter so bad.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You trying to claim that $8 million?
Kids could use that.
Nah, facts. So, I mean, shit, it's 4 of us. We go and put the work in together. You got to teach us how to be bounty hunters.
I'm about to say, you just got to train us.
Yo, kids not really around for that work.
I can add that shit.
Anyway, what we talking about today, Al?
You put in a chat about Mulatto, her comments. I didn't see him. What exactly was said?
Who is Mulatto?
That's a sick call. That's a very sick call.
I have no idea.
She not friends of the show?
I've never heard of her until y'all put her in the chat. To be totally honest, I don't know who she is.
She's an artist. She's a rapper. She's starting to pop off. She pretty much, doing her thing. I don't know a lot of her music, but I know a lot of people that talk about her.
I've definitely heard her name come up a number of times in different conversations.
I think the first time I heard of her was, I think she got a song with Doja Cat. I think that was the first time I heard her. You said there's that?
Questionable person, artist, whatever.
So I heard of her. She got her own baggage.
So
I was just about to say, Doja Cat was on the same kind of wave Mulatto is on right now.
What did she say?
What was it? She said it was like 2 incidents where I guess she had made a comment on Twitter, talk about somebody had said something to her, and she had responded saying like I'm black or something like that. And then somebody pulled up an old Black interview where she was saying that she doesn't identify herself as black. She identifies herself as like biracial, which me personally, I really don't see the too big of an issue about that. But like people were like frying her up over that shit, and they was like, "Oh, you want to claim black when it's convenient to you when it comes to like record sales, blah blah blah." And then now she's talking about changing her name from being Mulatto to like Big Lotto or something like that because they're saying Mulatto is offensive somehow, which I never took it as like an offensive statement, but apparently it is now in 2020. So that's pretty much what I got from it, like all the posts and stuff on Instagram and Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, I know everybody's sensitive now, man.
So what is her? Do we know her actual background is? She's biracial. Like, what's the?
Yeah, like I don't know. Who is she?
From what I got from it, she's half black and half white. From at least a little clip of the Vlad interview I seen. So he was asking her like, what do you identify as? Do you identify as black or do you identify as white? And she like pretty much was like, I don't identify as either. I identify as biracial. And yeah, that was that.
I mean, I don't necessarily have an issue with people saying they identify as biracial, but at the same time, when it comes to selling music and knowing that being a black person in that industry is gonna aid your fan base, I'm not gonna take advantage of my black half in order to sell records.
Yeah, I think that was the big thing about it was like, all right, you identify as biracial, that's cool. Like when she first said it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was like now that you kind of like trying to protect your image, it's I'm black. When before you clearly said like you don't identify as black.
So she kind of. It sounds like she's trying to creep in towards that culture appropriation and shit.
Yeah, that's what people are kind of like.
and that's what they
Is it
kind of.
culture appropriation if she actually is part black?
Yeah,
Because I've seen them say it
yeah.
about.
Well, it sounds like she's not trying to identify as black, but only when it's beneficial. So I feel like if you're black, you're black. You can't pick and choose when you want to be black.
Real quick, kids got to step out real quick. I'll be right back.
It's an interesting concept. Sometimes we've seen people who don't really, I don't know if identify as black is the right word, but going all the way back to like Tiger Woods, and like it never really seemed like he embraced the black community, was so like behind him so much, but he never was like, I'm this black guy. And we've seen it with a bunch of different people, and it does seem like people will use that when it's beneficial. But
I don't know. That's what it sounds like to me. I feel like she just.
people probably get mad at that because most black people that aren't mixed don't have that luxury to like turn it
Right.
off when you want to.
Right.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's.
That's kind of weird because they bash, like, obviously Taylor Swift is not biracial and she's 100% white, but like they bash her for cultural appropriation and trying to bite and sample off of like Beyonce stuff.
that's what I was saying. Like, I don't know if I can say
But
it's cultural appropriation because that
yeah,
like,
I feel like it's not.
Taylor Swift is way different than like this.
Yeah, but
Or they were saying Bruno was doing the same thing a couple years ago when he dropped that album where he was playing off all the old, black classics. But he's what, like Hawaiian or something? Isn't he? I don't know what. But he was getting the same kind of backlash because they're like, you're not black and you're using the culture to benefit, but you don't have to like go through the same things that we as black people have to go through. So that's why I can understand the frustration, but kind of are what you are.
I feel like people pick and choose with situations like this when they want to be mad, when they don't want to be mad. Because you got people like, I think Logic, he's mixed too, right?
I don't even know.
Is he? Yeah, I kind of tell looking at him. I didn't think he was. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, black dad, white mom.
Yeah.
And 7 half siblings, if anybody else wants to know.
But even with him, I think it was a situation where like something about his, what he was came up, and people talk about like I think he said something along the line about him not using the N-word in his music and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? Like I just feel like people pick and choose when they want to be mad about something.
Shut up.
I mean, if he's half black, does that gives him the right to say it, right? Or no?
I mean, I have no point at people that are half black, half white that say it. So if we're going by that, I mean, technically yes.
I say go for
but
it.
I mean, at the first glance at Logic, I'll be careful about that. Because at first glance, like you can't really tell like he's half black and half white.
Yeah.
Like that's an explanation that got to come behind that.
So, like, it becomes a thing. Like, who gets to determine if he could say it or not? You saying because he don't look it, but I mean,
no, I'm not saying he can't look it, but I'm saying that like first glance, like you got to be careful. Like you just can't be letting that thing fly. And you like first glance, you really don't look mixed like that.
So we was kind of having a little conversation. I actually had in the chat like a while ago about who could say certain things, who can't. So hypothetically, you see somebody like Logic, he looks like he's white. He makes that comment. You feel some type of way. Then he goes, "Oh, well, I'm half black." Now, do you feel different about what he just said to you?
I'm half mad.
Because
he don't look black, but he.
At the same token, I'm gonna use another person as a mix. J. Cole is mixed, but he looks black. His mom's white.
I think I did that. But,
and Drake be saying nigga too.
Drake
does. So it's like
he got black daddy and he got a Jewish mom or something like that.
His mom white as snow.
Right. So that just digs deeper into like the colorism piece of it because we judge so much on how people look, but I don't know. It's a tough for me because
and Drake be trying to speak Patois. Fuck out of here.
Drake with the accents gotta go, yo. You gotta chill out.
People be listening. They know what the fuck you be saying.
Nah, yo. The nigga had an Arabic accent, yo. I was like, yo, where's it coming from, bro? Like, come on, man.
Oh man.
But now, like, go back to the whole Logic thing. I mean, like you said, like, you look at Cole, you look at Drake, like, you can kind of tell, like, they have features that, like, all right, they could be mixed. You look at Logic, you kind of like, you assume he's white. So if he says, like, the N-word outside looking in, you're like, nah, like, he's a white boy saying the N-word. But, like, if you knew Logic and, like, say, like, his friends know he's half black and half white, and, like, his black friends hear him say the N-word, I'm sure they probably wouldn't feel some type of way about it because they understand that he's half black and half white. So I wouldn't say it's so much that the way you look, whether you can say it or not, it's just like your background. Like you got a black dad or a black.
When I say how you look, I'm talking about like first impression type of thing. Like when you first see somebody, if they were to say that to you, not knowing their background, just looking at them, you're going to make a decision. Am I going to accept this from this person or am I not? And then he might have a chance to afterwards clean it up and like, oh yeah, I'm half black or whatever. But just the initial reaction is going to be what it is based on who the person is.
I think all should just get along and put this East Coast, West Coast beef aside. Just move on as a people. That's what I think.
So this one other piece of it I asked in the chat. So why do you feel like we made it okay for our Spanish friends to be able to say the N-word, even though they're not black? Well, let me not say they're not black. That gets into a whole deep piece about.
I was about to say,
origin.
You're going down a rabbit hole.
They're not black. They're not like black in the sense of how we usually identify people as black. They might be like Afro, Latino, whatever, but like
fun to have the Afro Latinos on your ass.
Yeah,
boy.
bro, that's a whole other thing. Like it's.
But when I say,
I get what you're saying, but
yeah. we understand what you're saying though. We get you.
Right, and I think people understand. I try to clean it up, but we look at like we all grew up with Puerto Rican friends, and they, as far as everyone in my circle, if they was cool, they got a pass. Never once thought anything about them saying it, and never even really thought like, oh wait, but they're not like necessarily black in the sense of like how we look at, I might look at Tills or school or whatever, but they immediately got a pass just because they grew up around us and we identify with the same type of struggles to a certain extent.
Was there one that didn't get a pass?
I think that people outside of our circle sometimes we would question. Like we gave them a pass because we knew them and we kind of know they kind of identify with the same type of struggle that we came from. I think that's why a lot of them get a pass. But there was plenty of people that was questionable. You're like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that person saying it because I just don't know them like that. You know what I mean?
And then it'd be situations where like especially out here, like I could be walking down the street and I see two Mexican people just like, yo, what's good, my nigga? That nigga crazy. Like, and I'm like, yo, bro, like, why y'all saying nigga so much? Like,
I mean,
and it's funny, like to think back, like I would say, like we had like around the same group of friends, or like Hispanic, whatever, that said the N-word. Like thinking back to it, I can say that I can't recall too many times where they were saying like the N-word, like directed towards me. It was more so like amongst themselves, more so than like directed towards us. Mm-hmm. At least from what I can recall.
Yeah,
I always got different opinions, but
do you think it was a reason for that, or you think it just didn't happen?
I don't think it was a specific reason. I think it just didn't happen for real. I'm sure I could probably think of some times where it did happen, but like I could say like I probably said it more so towards them, even more so than they said it towards me, because I got that I probably was at fault too, saying it back to them.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say if you noticed that they really didn't say it to you, might there have been something like within them, like maybe I shouldn't be using it with him, and if that's the case, then why?
I'll probably say like somewhere like subconsciously they probably like, should I be saying this? Like I think it's more of like a comfort thing. like they get comfortable around certain people. They say it amongst themselves. They hear other people saying it. It's kind of like it's a comfort thing. Like you're more comfortable around this person. They, like you said, you identify with that person with how they were brought up, their culture, their struggle, and stuff like that. So that makes them more comfortable with saying it around you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really layered conversation that we don't have time to have, but it's interesting to just think about who gets a pass and who doesn't, and all the stuff that comes with colorism, especially, and not being able, because never mind. That's another path I don't even want to go on. But it's differences. There's the light skin, dark skin differences that we deal with in society as well, and we mostly jokingly, but we get on each other about those things. But it's real. It comes from a real place. The issues between ourselves based on how we look. So it's deep, but conversation for another day.
Whole pod on that.
Let me ask y'all this: do y'all think Mulatto should change her name?
What? Mulatto?
Stupid.
Yeah, I think she should.
The word mulatto means like a mix of what? Exactly. I know it's a mix, but like mix of what exactly?
Oh, I don't know the exact definition, but like it does mean like the mix of like, I mean, the way it was always used, at least how I know, was like if you were half black and half white, like at least from like growing up, people always like, oh, mulatto. But I don't know like the exact definition of the word.
If that's the case, then that technically defines her completely.
It means what actually what she is.
It says define mulatto as one who is offspring of a European and a black.
You sound like an announcer from a Dave Chappelle skit.
Well, yeah, it caught me off guard when somebody said like it was offensive. I was like, how? I was like, it describes like her background perfectly. Like that's what it's used for.
Right. I would be more offended if she tried to use some super black play on words and then be like, well, no, I'm biracial. I don't want to identify as just black. That would be more offensive to me.
Well, I think I seen somebody say it was like, well, people were pretty much offended at how I am saying like, well, like that's her background, mulatto. That's how I grew up knowing like the term. Somebody was like, all right, would you be opposed to somebody having like the rapper name of like dark skinned nigga? It was like that's not really the same, but like I kind of understand where they're coming from. But it's like,
people
but like that's way
dark skinned nigga.
Mulatto.
Like, people take it way too far.
Wasn't there a rapper named Black or something? Was that a movie or was that real life?
Who?
Wait, what?
Wasn't there a rapper named Crunchy Black or something like that?
Crunchy Black? No, I think that was a movie. I think.
Movie?
That was I can't think of.
Oh, I can't remember if it was real life or it was a movie. Was
it
it
like? I understand what they say.
It might have been that movie with Terrence Howard. Whoop That Trick movie. What's that drink called?
Nah, wait, hold on.
Yo, you on your Scream Man time today, yo.
Country Black, better known by stage and country by the American rapper Hype Man, longtime member of the Oscar-winning group 3-6 Mafia.
Huh. Okay.
Well, all right.
Wait, what's his name?
Well, he ended up. No, that his daughter passed away. But his name was Country Black. He was the hype man for 3-6 Mafia.
Yeah, I think I do remember him.
The more you know. I didn't know kids had names in 3-6 Mafia, but their name was just 3-6 Mafia. I didn't know they had names. That's crazy.
Yeah, what you're saying, Tills, give us the background on the story. What happened with the restaurant?
I can't remember the name or where the restaurant was at, but it was pretty much the restaurant owner. Was it? I think, yeah, Houston, Texas, or something like that.
Yeah, one of those places.
But yeah, pretty much it was like a brunch at a fancy restaurant. Somebody that was there at the brunch started twerking, and the restaurant owner pretty much came out and was mad tight about it, spazzing on everybody.
Black-owned restaurant, right?
Yeah, it was
Black
black owned
owned.
restaurant. But pretty much he was spazzing because he was like, I created this restaurant, I recreated this like environment for like pretty much like a high end restaurant, and y'all sitting here twerking, y'all not respecting yourselves, y'all expect men to respect yourselves. Well, y'all expect men to respect y'all, and y'all not respecting yourselves. Like he went on a crazy rant, and it was like not backing down about it.
The owner of True Kitchen and Cocktails, spelled with a K.
This kid, yeah, you on it, yeah.
This thing went off. I was watching it the other day. So before we get to what he actually said, how do you feel about the premise of it? Do you agree, like, with him being upset about that happening at this establishment that he tried to create that was supposed to be a little bit more upscale?
So
not at all.
Not at all. What?
Why he's upset? Didn't he have a live DJ going on?
Yeah,
And when you have a live DJ, people dance, right?
most likely.
Okay. So it's a
Wait,
black establishment.
I don't know if I heard it right. Was it someone dancing on a table?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to get at. So
people are going to go. We're dealing with our people. People are going to take it.
This is not the spot in Miami though, bro. Like this ain't what's the name of that spot?
Yo.
Oh, Mango.
Yeah.
Mango.
was sick.
I think what it was like, if you've seen the other video, it's like 2 or 3 other videos besides the main one everybody's showing like him spazzing, of like the girl getting on the table and twerking or standing up in the chair and twerking. And like I think 2 or 3 times somebody goes over there and tells her like, hey, like get down. And she keeps getting up and doing it. And that was pretty much like the owner pretty much said that was his last straw where he started to spaz and telling DJ to cut the music off and shit. But like his approach about it was terrible. 100% like terrible. Like you didn't have to have him cut the music, go on your whole rant about women respecting themselves. Like that was completely unnecessary. But to play devil's advocate, I can kind of understand where he's coming from, where it's like, I understand it's a black owned business. I understand like it's our culture and stuff, but that doesn't give you the right to start standing up on tables and stuff. I get that. I can understand. I can understand from that standpoint. But for him to kind of emphasize the whole twerking thing was kind of like unnecessary. Like if you're mad about them standing on your table, cool. Emphasize on that. Tell them like, yo, don't stand on my table. But you to emphasize women not respecting themselves by twerking was completely unnecessary.
I don't even have a problem with him saying twerking. I think the part about like not respecting yourselves and all of this, like I could say like, yo, stop twerking on my tables. Like that's a reasonable thing to think.
But like I said, it was the whole rant he went on. It was crazy.
I definitely understand what you're saying. I think that just that is what does it for me.
I get him being upset. Like especially like when you got an establishment, when you start your own business, you gonna want people to respect it the way you want it to respect it. Although that's not gonna happen, you gotta also prepare for people not respecting this shit the way you want it to be respected. But I get what he's saying. Like us as black people, as black business owners, it's already hard for us. It's hard for us to start. It's hard for us to keep. And if most of my clientele is people that's not twerking in my restaurant, and then you coming in my shit twerking, people gonna see this shit and get turned off. You know what I mean? But the way he went about it, I don't agree with it. And also, like he had a DJ in there. It's cool. Have a DJ in your restaurant, but you can't have him playing what was they playing? Boosie or something that was twerking.
You can't set that vibe and expect that not to happen.
You need to play some slow R&B, some old school vibes. Keep the volume under 20 decibels or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, don't have no big 60-inch speakers in there. People thinking it's a club with food, not a restaurant. Or you know what I mean? Like,
somebody said he should have known by now that at brunch food is like secondary to twerking. But then like somebody made the point. It was like, you don't go to like Ruth's Chris, or you don't go to like you have brunch at like a winery or something like that, and you're not going to sit there and get on the table and start twerking there.
They don't have
And
a
it was,
live DJ playing Boosie, bro.
no,
It's
I
the
get it, bro.
environment. You in Dallas, Texas. It is what it is. Like, cut it out.
I get it.
If you didn't want them talking, listening to the music, play it over the loudspeaker and tell them this, like, don't bring the live DJ in.
No, I get it, but I guess from a black business owner standpoint, I guess it's kind of like they feel like they're kind of like taking advantage of like, oh, you think because I'm black owned, you can get on my table and start twerking. When you won't go to a white establishment and do that. It's pretty much what they were trying to get at.
Playing Boosie at work with serving alcohol and food.
I think that's a fair assessment because if it was a different establishment, they wouldn't probably be doing that. I don't think the music that's playing gives you justification to stand on somebody's table and do that, especially if you know the type of place that he's trying to have. He's trying to. Trying to mix the best of both worlds for you. He wants it to be upscale, but he also wants you to be able to hear the music that you want. That don't mean you got to get on the table or whatever and do what you. I don't think so.
And I can understand both sides. His approach was 100% wrong.
Agreed.
But I can understand the point of view is like I'm trying to have this establishment, and you like I have people over here that are just trying to enjoy food, and your twerk one is getting on their eggs. So like I can understand like that kind of standpoint where it's like you got one side like people just trying to enjoy their meal, and then you got somebody else standing on the table twerking the Boosie.
And I mean, it's not to give him a pass or anything, but I didn't see the other videos when he had somebody go over and like calmly talk to them. So I can understand his frustration escalating to a point like I tried to just go over and be civil, like, yo, can y'all just chill out? I mean, not make a scene. It doesn't justify what he did, but I can understand how it might have escalated a little bit for him when he tried to do it the right way at first.
And my thing, like in 2020, you can't do that. You know, somebody's phone will be recording, and you're gonna end up a meeting, or you're gonna end up the talk of the town for what? How long it's been? Like a week.
TMZ, Shade Room, Baller Alert, Spiritual World.
It's 2020.
He ended up on all those things.
So,
like, my thing is, if you go over there and say something to her, she don't stop. You go over there, say something, she don't stop. If that's not what you want in your restaurant, and that's what something you want to stop, definitely with her standing on the table, just tell her to leave. Like, you did not have to go on your big soapbox rant and start yelling at everybody about twerking.
Or in the middle of a global pandemic, you shouldn't have a brunch with that many people.
That restaurant was packed, bro.
So, like, what are we talking about? You don't have that, then you don't have that situation.
That definitely had to be.
He had his mask off when he was. What happened?
No, I just thought about that. It definitely had to be either Houston or Atlanta because they're the only places that's open like that.
It was in Dallas.
Sounds close enough. Texas and Georgia.
You shouldn't be open doing that anyway. I'm sure you had a capacity limit, and I'm sure you exceeded it.
Facts.
So that's okay, but that's not okay.
And he had his mask off when he was yelling too. Mad Corona in there.
Corona everywhere inside the restaurant. Everywhere.
I get the point across, big.
So how do you think that this ends for him? Like, is he gonna be done for, or
just shut it down?
Because I've seen the majority of the people I've seen have been upset about what he did, but I also seen a fair number of people like defending him and him trying to keep the standards up in his restaurant. So,
yeah, I think he's gonna be good. His business was already like it started booming. That's probably why it was packed. It recently started booming, so like I feel like he's gonna be good.
Shouldn't be packed in the first place.
I feel like he's gonna be good. Like I just read that people have been going crazy on Yelp. They've been giving him bad Yelp reviews, but Yelp like shut it down so nobody else could leave comments. But I think they're gonna be alright, man.
So the health department don't got nothing to say about this?
I mean,
nah, I thought like Texas, like all the major cities, they open, Like they governors came up like, nah, we open, we got shut down.
Well, that's why you got people twerking on your table. You should be open.
Health department gonna be like, y'all had a full house. She in here twerking, twerk wind everywhere. You spitting with no mask on.
There's so many health code violations going on. And we talk about a lady twerking at the table. Like, of course that's gonna happen. Like, come on. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh shit, man.
Look at this shit, yo. Stop sugarcoating shit and be nice to these motherfuckers. They shouldn't be. Everything should be shut the fuck down. Shut it down.
But I mean, then you got out here. They talking about they shutting everything down, but it's still open.
Good. The whole planet need to shut down for the next couple weeks, and then we figure this shit out, bro.
Shut
Nah,
down
it's only
to
it's
2021.
not no black, just the U.S., yo.
And
It
not,
started
that's
kind of
just
good now.
everybody. Nah,
Yeah,
it's
some
just creeping
places
up.
been having
Shit just
having
creeping
their
up.
concerts and everything.
Nah,
Other countries.
Countries are creeping up. Countries are creeping up.
No, nah,
Yes, they are.
China's straight.
China's not the only. China's not the only place on the planet.
No, I'm saying like for it to be for it to allegedly start in China and be like they good now. Like it's like no quarantine, no mask, no requirements, no nothing out there. Like it's back to normal.
I don't believe it.
My boy wearing masks and shit out there.
It is creeping up, and
Well, they
people
wear
are
masks when
still dying every day.
Nah, I'm saying like it's bad here in the U.S., but I'm saying like places
It's
like
bad
China.
everywhere. Stop bringing up China. It's not the only place, yo. It's not the only place on the earth, yo. Yeah, it's bad everywhere.
I don't think it's bad everywhere. I think a lot
Nah,
of
it's bad. It's creeping, bro. It's creeping back up. You're not listening. People not listening, bro. People not
I'm
listening.
telling you, the U.S. is not listening.
If we would have listened in the first place, we wouldn't be here.
All right, you want to worry about people twerking on your tables. You have a separate twerk night if you wanted to.
this guy doesn't want any reason to justify them twerking on the tables.
Come on, we see this shit. Yo,
We've been quarantined all this time. They ready to twerk anywhere.
exactly. We've seen this scene before play out.
You knew what time it was gonna be on as soon as you opened up for brunch, bro. Like they've been waiting to twerk for brunch all year, bro.
That's all people want to do is go eat brunch. I don't know what the fascination is with brunch, going out to people to eat brunch, but that's what everybody wants to do. It's annoying.
I know so many people that be like, I miss having brunch. I'd be like, all right.
It was like you didn't
Yeah, like okay, what?
even order food, man.
Let's go get some food and sit down and eat. Like, what's the fascination about brunch?
You eat half a waffle and endless mimosas and twerk. That's it.
That's what it is. The endless mimosas, man.
You can have endless mimosas at the crib for free. Just do it on your own time. Then you can twerk on your kitchen table. You can twerk on your counter if you wanted to. You can be on your couch, your balcony, your TV stand. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I think it's wild.
Just saying.
Shit, kids crazy.
So if y'all out there looking for a place to twerk, I got a spot for y'all. Let me know. It's endless mimosas and brunch. You get one waffle, one piece of chicken. That's it.
That's all you need.
They're not gonna eat that anyway.
I told you, half a waffle, endless mimosas. That's all you need.
It's a sickening. It's annoying.
You just gotta put the half a waffle on your stomach, and then mimosas, you're good.
They can speed past the waffles. They don't care about the waffles.
So what else, yo? Dave Chappelle, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Chapelle
show.
So did they take it down? Does anybody know? Did they take it down? I think they did, right?
They took it down. Took it down.
Netflix took it down. I think it was only up there for like a day or so, like maybe a couple of days.
Yeah, so Chappelle asked them to take it down because I guess he's not getting paid for it. And they obliged. So, I mean, respect to Netflix. I think it makes sense for them, though, because they're probably making so much more money off his stand-ups and all the other stuff than they are playing those shows and how many times people are going to watch those episodes. So it makes sense to think long-term instead of short-term in terms of that.
Yeah. I think they still have it up on HBO Max.
Really?
I think they bought it. But like you said, Netflix got a contract with Dave with the stand-ups and stuff, so that just got bad business. You got like somebody, I'm assuming like his stand-ups and stuff is like top earners when they drop on Netflix, as far as like views and stuff. So you can't have that bad blood where you got to show up there, he tell you to take it down, and you're like, nah. And I'm pretty sure he'd be like, all right, bet, take all my stand-ups down. So.
But, I mean, I think because of who he is, he has power in a sense, but he don't have any real power. They did that like as a courtesy to him because they don't have to take it down.
Yeah, no, it was for Netflix. If Netflix didn't have a business contract with him, as far as his standards and stuff, they wouldn't have taken it down. They would have left it up there.
Right.
So he has some kind of power then, because he has that relationship, no?
I think he meant power, like he can't legally have them take down the Chapelle show.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't own the rights for that.
Yeah, and that power, no, he don't. But I mean,
But
in
he
that
has
sense,
power
he
in the
don't.
sense of relationship with them enough to say, hey, if you
And
do this,
he has
then
I would say he has leverage, but I wouldn't say he has.
Yeah, he got leverage because he got a following. You know what I mean? So they probably knew, like, damn, if we don't take this shit down, he gonna tell them to stop watching everything.
which he did.
You know what I mean? Because he already got his check from Netflix. So I mean,
I'm pretty sure he probably has I think he has a contract there for more stand-ups and stuff too.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
You don't want to mess up that business deal. Or but on the other hand, like with HBO Max, they not taking it down because it's like, all right, no, we're not taking it down. We don't have anything in contract with you like Netflix. You have no leverage against us. We gonna keep it up there.
Mm-hmm.
So people watching it up there.
I don't know if y'all saw the video, the Unforgiven joint he posted, but he talked about how HBO. He first went to them. He went to them first before Comedy Central. They turned them down, and now they want your shit on HBO. It's like, bro, like, yeah, I was like, we don't need you, and now look at y'all need me. Like,
that's just the ugly side of entertainment. Like,
that's a big smack face too.
It's just the ugly side that they got to deal with all the time.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like, it's sickening. Like,
and I think it just goes to show, like, when people are still young, early in their careers, like a lot of people sign bad deals. So we talk about everybody and how the artists are getting jerked around nowadays, but it's been going on forever. Like the greatest stand-up of our time has to fight to have stuff taken down because he signed a bad deal before he left. So it can happen.
And it's also not knowing your worth. Like, it's not even just signing a bad deal. It's you got to think about situations like, okay, I'm about to sign this deal. They offering me $5 million. I know they about to make more than $5 million off of me. Like, maybe I could do this shit on my own. You know what I mean? Like, and I know it's tough sometimes because at that point in time you might be flat broke, but you got to think about it like, damn, like if I got this much pull, this much reach, a business, so what can I do individually, like with my core following? Because look at him now. He like, yo, don't watch my show. People not watching. Like he got leverage. You know what I mean? So it's just you gotta sometimes just look at like, damn, like I might be something in the next 5 years.
Well, he said that in that video. I don't think he knew his worth. It was just a situation that he was in when he got presented with that deal. He was just he was about to have his kid. He got no money. I think he said he had like $60 in his pocket. I'm taking $5 million. Granted, he still knew his worth. That show blew up within less than a year almost. And
because you could easily Monday morning quarterback and be like, oh, well, he should never sign a bad deal. But like you said, his whole situation is like, at that point, you have no idea what that show was going to do. No clue. You broke. You rolling the dice on a skit show, which like some skit shows, it's like some hit, some miss. And it could have flopped all you knew. All you knew was like Comedy Central said, yo, here's $5 million, make this show. He's sitting there having a kid with $60 in his bucks. No one's going to turn that deal down at that point. But then, like, I feel like clearly he smartened up because when season 3 came, they talked about giving him $50 million, and he turned it down. Because clearly at that point he knew his worth and the whole creative thing as far as the show, he didn't feel right about it. So I feel like it was all kind of based on the situation. It's like, you know your worth to some extent, but it's like at the same time, I got $60 in my pocket. So am I going to turn down this $5 million because I know my worth? and keep struggling, or am I going to bite the bullet, take this $5 million, and figure it out in the long run?
But I mean, we can sit here and say you know your worth, and that's a cliche. To a certain extent, we do. But in the grand scheme of things, do we really know how much we're worth to that company? Because the company is never going to let you see the numbers, how much traffic you're bringing in. So you're never going to know what the company is really making off of you. You still might be shortchanging yourself. And that's why listening to Budden a lot, like I really started to understand like the stuff that he was talking about and just how much like they changed the game. And then they try to give him a new contract and they still want to shortchange him. And of course, they're never going to show him the numbers. So they have no idea what they're really worth. You just got to say, I think I'm worth this. So I'm going to either take this or I'm leaving. But do you really ever know what your worth is?
Yeah. And like you said, they never showed the numbers, but I know, at least myself, the only reason I had Spotify was listening to that. And I don't have Spotify anymore because they're not up there no more. So like that right there can tell you their worth of like their worth to Spotify. Like people have Spotify solely because they're up there.
Right. And I know he was talking about like we're bringing in billions of dollars to Spotify, but you really don't know how much you're bringing in. So if they say we'll give you 50 million, you say no, we're worth 100 million. You might really be worth 500 million if you're bringing in billions of dollars. But how would you ever know that? And going back to school point, like it's as far as artists go today, yeah, so many of them that's in that position, especially the people that's doing it mostly on their own. Like I'm trying to get my people out. It's the same thing with athletes. People that they was coming out of high school, needing to go to the pros, skipping college because they need to take care of everybody else that's in their corner. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do. It's not always not about knowing your worth. In a lot of cases with the younger kids, it is that they don't know and they can't think long term. But you also got responsibility. So it's like, what am I going to do? And when is opportunity going to come again? If I don't take this chance now, what if my career fizzles out?
Yeah.
How many ever millions short?
Yeah, because like at that, like when he first started, like he didn't have that leverage to negotiate a contract. Even like if he knew his worth, you can know your worth, but if you don't have the leverage to negotiate it, you got nothing.
True.
So he's like, all right, here's $5 million. Now I know, even if for some reason he had a time machine, he knew, no, my show is going to blow up in 2 years and it's going to be worth $100 million. If he can't prove that on paper and he can't show that on leverage as far as like negotiating, they're going to be like, nope, here's this $5 million, dog. Take it or leave it. And what you going to do? Take $5 million. Like you did with the athletes and stuff. They're going to take that signing bonus and not read that contract and see half of the money they could make isn't guaranteed. And if they blow their knee tomorrow, they get nothing. But they see that first signing bonus, they're like, well, I got to get my family out the hood. So I'm going to take this signing bonus and I'm not going to read that if I blow my knee, I get nothing. Or it's 12 other players that I have better stats than that's making more money than me. So
you could also have an idea of what you're worth in this moment. Like I want to sign a deal right now that'll pay me $5 million a year, but I have no idea how long my show is going to go on. Like Chapelle show is going to go on forever. He should be getting paid for a Chapelle show forever, but you never know that it's going to be that big and how much money you could be making 20 years from now. Most people are thinking in the moment, this is what I'm worth right now. This is the deal that I deserve for this amount of time. I'm not thinking like I should be getting residuals for the rest of my life because this is one of the greatest shows ever. It's like
there's no reason why. Like I'm pretty sure like the YouTube clips of the Chapelle show probably like millions of views and he only see a dime of it.
Right.
And then like would it be on HBO Max, not seeing a dime of it? And it's like you got shows like, well, what shows are like syndicate, like Seinfeld and Friends and stuff like that. None of them on those shows got to work another day in their life because they get paid every time that show touches a television screen, or anytime Netflix buys it, or any other streaming service buys it. They get paid every single time it gets shown. And it's like it's crazy to think that a show like the Chapelle show, like he's not seeing a dime of it.
And they was getting $1 million an episode.
Yeah.
On Friends.
Shit. Friends.
It's like most of them they have like little shows or movies here and there, but like none of them gotta work another day in their life off of Friends, Seinfeld, or any other show like that. Not another day in their life because they make money off that show just for it being on TV, not lifting a finger. Dave Chappelle got 5 mil, and that was it.
Living Single was way better than Friends. In fact, Living Single was Friends. They stole that idea.
Yeah, the creator of Friends came out and said he got the idea of Friends from Living Single.
Yeah, right.
Crazy. Friends definitely was trash though.
I don't want to talk about it.
Friends was trash.
That's what I'm saying. That falls back into the whole business owner thing. Like it's hard for us, man. No matter what it is, no matter what type of business we're doing, it's always gonna be hard for us. So
yeah,
we just gotta keep grinding and fighting. And we gotta make our own shit, man. Honestly, we gotta make our own. You know, the same thing with Nick Cannon. You know, he gonna do the same thing, same motions with Viacom. So.
yeah. And it's crazy to think about because you like shows like Seinfeld, what was in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
and then like whoever did that deal, as far as having it syndicated and getting paid for every episode every time it's on TV, it's like you think to Dave Chappelle, like his show came out 2003, 2004,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got like Nick Cannon with Wildin' Out. That came out maybe mid 2000s, late 2000s. Started off. And like you see the replay value like Wildin' Out has. You just see people like watching clips online and stuff, and you think like from a business standpoint, somebody on their team didn't think like, yo, we should own this where we make money wherever it goes, whether it's on Netflix, whether it's on Viacom, whether it's on any streaming service, we should be making money off of it. But half shows and other stuff that came in the past that had rewatch value like that, to already have the mindset like, yo, we need to own this where we make money wherever it's at. To like, you got people like Chapelle, Nick Cannon, and I'm sure plenty of other people where they check for whatever episodes they do, and after that, Viacom owns it, and they don't get no residuals, no nothing off of that. It's kind of crazy to think about. Like the show in the '90s had that concept, but shows now or years after that didn't even think about doing that, or didn't have the leverage to do that, or in a sense. Yeah, I think that was it. I know I had other topics listed, but I think that's good enough.
Yeah, we can tap back in with them next week on the School and the Game podcast. Yeah, next episode, let's talk about goals for 2021, man.
Nah, chill, yo. We just gonna let that thing happen, man. Let that thing
Nah,
happen.
you gotta set goals, man. You gotta manifest. You gotta speak into existence, man. We gonna have a great 2021, man, for real.
Say that.
Nah, man. I'm just meditate on that thing, man. I'm not gonna set no goals, no nothing. I'm gonna just meditate on that thing. Whatever comes, yeah.
Nah, don't say that.
That's how 2020 happened.
No, yo, people setting mad goals. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. 2020, my year, and boom.
But no, some people still reach their goals this year, man. Some people who didn't set goals, you know what I mean? Like,
shout out to them if they reach goals in 2020.
Yeah, man, it's been a lot of great Black success this year. I will say that.
Was a year to figure out new ways to accomplish your goals. You had to figure out, different means of getting to your goals. 2020 was a year to learn.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to look at the bright side of it, but I guess you could set goals for it, but like I'm not trying to say I don't have high hopes for 2021, but at the same time, it's kind of like we went into 2020 with such high hopes and we got smacked in the face, pretty much.
Nah, I feel it.
So I'm just like I'm just take it as it comes, and we just gonna see how it works out.
Well, we're gonna talk more about it next episode. We're gonna set some goals. I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna set some goals. So.
Got it.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all. We're gonna have a next episode. Whenever we do it next week. But y'all continue to tap in with us. Hit us up on the gram. Let us know what topics y'all want to talk about. Let us know what y'all doing. What y'all setting for y'all 2021 goals. Let us know what y'all setting, man. And we're gonna catch y'all next week.